Quick raise of hands. Who knows what a chatbot is? Who talks with one daily? Maybe. All right. Just so we're clear, we're going to jump through this. I'm going to just quickly go over what it is. A few people may not be familiar. And then we're going to talk a bit about the spectrum of them, exactly how they work, some examples in real life with things that matter like customer service and e-commerce. And then a little bit get into the weeds on the numbers. And then if you have questions afterwards, even after the entire seminar, come up, ask me. I love talking about this stuff. All right, so to be clear, we're talking about chatbots, not live chat, meaning that where you normally go to a website, a little thing pops up, hey, how can I help you? We're talking about there's not a real person on the other end of there. It's a computer program. Some examples you see, they happen in apps, they happen on the web, they happen all over the place. We're talking about actual computer software that understands human speech, conversation, and text and is able to reply and sort of simulate a conversation with you. It's creepy, but it happens, and it happens a lot. It's been happening for a while, and it's getting a lot better. The cool digital marketing term for it is a conversational user experience. It's made up of a few different parts. We're going to go through it. We're going to get into the weeds, talk a little technical, and then we're going to jump into some examples. So bear with me. The interaction channel. This is you plus the interaction channel is how you're going to communicate with this chatbot. We see them on websites with a little pop-up. We see them on IM and chat programs like Slack, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. These are messaging apps you may already have on your phone. You may download them just to talk to this chatbot, whether it's by email, a little less common, but it happens. An activity stream in a social media channel like Facebook, or if some of you are familiar with the new Google Allo chat program, you can actually bring a Google bot right into the chat, and it will communicate with you and your friend. You say, hey, you want to get lunch? Let's go get Mexican. It'll recommend a taco place nearby. Smart agents, similar. If you have your Cortana, your Siri, your OK Google on your phone, or your Internet of Things sort of devices like an Amazon Alexa, these are all examples of interaction channels that you can talk to a chatbot through. Then there's a mobile application directly, or it's kind of new, but virtual reality, augmented reality. We're not going to really get into that. Such a small audience. So, obviously, text, voice, video. These are the ways you're going to communicate through the interaction channel. And then you're going to be talking to your chatbot. Your chatbot is separate from your interaction channel. You can have a chatbot that goes through all the different chat apps and your website. This is software that can live somewhere in the cloud or on a server somewhere in your office, if you like. And the magic behind it is NLP. NLP is natural language processing. This is the sort of secret sauce for a chatbot that makes this sort of conversation possible. It's actual computer algorithms and code that allows a computer to understand human conversation and speech. So this is not someone writing a program that says, when I see this exact string of characters or a sentence, respond in this way. It's actually classifying through machine learning what the end user is saying. So you can ask the same question in a million different ways, and hopefully, if your NLP sort of model is trained up, it'll understand it. Likewise, coming back out, that's natural language generation, so it doesn't sound too robotic, I guess. Obviously, there's some sort of knowledge. There's a reason why you have this chatbot. If you're Expedia, your knowledge base is flight information or hotel information or car rental information. It's hooking into a database with some sort of business logic so that when it's interacting with the user, it can actually take some sort of action. Yeah, you can have a chatbot just for conversation, but typically that's not in our interest. We're here to, grow our business, grow our brand. And then, APIs, databases, however your business logic needs to interface with your data. It's important to understand the spectrum. Just like you can get a website that's made by, your friend's younger brother, and it's going to cost nothing and it's going to be terrible, you can probably build a chatbot very quickly that'll be awful and just ruin your day. Not all man-made machines are equal. You can have something that's just silly all the way up to something that is very, very complex and smart. We're going to talk about the spectrum a little bit. There's, on the really simple side, there's basically bots on rails. These are sort of a guided response system. This is the advent of it's basically the new IVR. Please press 1 for this, please press 2 for that. You basically program your chatbot. You can present menus to the user. It works really well if you're a restaurant or if you're a simple store with a catalog of items. Someone will say something along the lines of, I'm interested in lunch items, and it'll say, great, and then it'll present a few different options the person can actually click on, which will automatically respond. It's a glorified menu system, but it works, and it's on the much more simpler side of the chatbot spectrum. You can see a little example of someone going through a content bot there. And they're pressing the menu system on their phone, and it's kind of scrolling through. So they could type, but they don't need to. Another good example is this 19-year-old student from Stanford created this site called donotpay.co.uk. And basically, it will get you out of a parking ticket. It takes you through sort of this templated guided response system where it asks you a bunch of basic questions, and then you say, I got a ticket, I was on this street, only in London or New York, and then it'll generate an appeal for you with all the legalese. This is something that you wouldn't normally be able to do with a long form because you need to present information in a specific way. But with natural language classification and processing, it doesn't matter how you write it, the computer understands the intent, and then it can renegotiate your information into this presentation that actually works as an appeal. It's actually overturned 160,000 parking tickets since he started it. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I'm sure you guys are familiar with IBM Watson. Now we're moving very far away, right, from a guided response system. This is a computer program that beat Jennings at Jeopardy. IBM says, this is from IBM, Watson is a technology that understands all forms of data and reasons and learns at scale. It's a crazy statement to think about. This is, millions of dollars of R&D, people with PhDs in natural language processing working on this thing. Calling IBM Watson a chatbot is a bit like calling Gandhi a stand-up dude. It's not wrong, but it's kind of underplaying it a bit. I'm just trying to give you a sense of the spectrum. IBM Watson makes these technologies available. If you have a development team that's building you a chatbot, they can hook into APIs from IBM through Bluemix, which is basically their version of AWS, if you're familiar with Amazon AWS. And they make these technologies available, conversation, translation, speech to text. They allow you to plug in trade-off analysis, which is an incredibly complex mathematical algorithm to have the computer decide when to give something up against its interest to get something better in return. And you can just kind of work this into your chatbot if you want. It's pretty ambitious, but it's available. Let's talk about the stuff that actually matters. We're not going to build IBM Watson for our businesses and our brands. It's overkill. You don't have the money. It won't do anything better unless you want to compete with IBM Watson. It's not going to happen. Customer service, content, and commerce. These are the three main areas where we are seeing chatbots work for businesses and brands. People want quick emergency answers. These are reasons why people would use a chatbot. They want quick emergency answers to questions. They want to find the right person quickly to talk to. If you have got 20 different numbers on your website and someone just goes, I don't know which number to call, I'm having an issue, they can put the question into the chatbot can respond. Customer service is huge because it works 24/7, and it's not staffed, it's automatic. Think of how many times you may have customer service staff where they're getting the same questions over and over again, especially post-commerce questions like, where's my package? How come it didn't arrive? It arrived broken. Well, here's the RMA form. This is what you need to fill out. Give me your tracking number. You know the answers to these questions. And these people are sitting here and they're like a broken record. You can use a chatbot to automate that. Content we see a lot with news sites, getting tailored responses to, I'm interested in these type of sports or these games in this area. And then obviously commerce, buying small items and direct items are usually more popular, really custom, large purchase items. No one's gonna have a casual conversation and buy it. But things like 1-800-Flowers, they launched a chatbot. 70% of all the orders that came in through their chatbot were customers that had never ordered on their website before, which is a huge number to think about. Obviously, it's a younger audience because these are, the millennials. Everyone's got the messaging apps on their phone. They're familiar with it. They use them all the time. It's a quick purchase. These are questions that you already know what you're going to say. I need a bouquet of roses for my mother for Mother's Day. They're quick. They're easy. Give me the date. Give me the shipping address, and you can kind of go through. This is launched through Facebook Messenger, but they also use the same exact chatbot on a different interaction channel. They have it right on their website. They call it Gwyn. And it actually hooks in with a bunch of their partners. So it's not just flowers. You can buy snacks. You can say, hey, I need some snacks for my, for my brother's birthday, I think is what I put in. And it starts, suggesting options with some nice photos. They did a really good job on the creative on this side. HealthTap is a health provider. They of information. It's more of a content site, but they also offer consultation. They did a really cool job where they linked it into Facebook Messenger. They try to give you the best content that they think you're asking for through NLP, but if you get frustrated and they're not giving you the right information, the bot senses it through tone analysis and will transfer you to a live person in the chat seamlessly. Sometimes you don't even know. They give you an option to connect to a real person, and then when you're done, they offer you sort of like a commerce follow-up, a consultation follow-up, where you can book an appointment right through the app. It's pretty cool. On the content side, they can just be quirky and fun if you're looking for just brand awareness. Casper, the mattress company, released something called Insomnia Bot 3000, which is a chatbot that only operates over text message, and it's only operating from about 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. And it will just have a conversation with you. You can say things like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? I can't believe I have to speak at this seminar tomorrow. And it'll have this sort of casual conversation with you. On the numbers side, it's important to understand why all these examples and things you're seeing Facebook Messenger a lot. Facebook Messenger is the #1 chat application. In 2016, 40% of all phones have Facebook Messenger installed. That's insane. It's one application. It's on almost half of all phones. If you don't have a chatbot, you don't have sort of a way to interact with these users, you're missing out, I think, because there's a lot of people that just don't go through the trouble. Who wants to go to the App Store, download an app, log in, create an account, when you can just go open up the application that's already on your phone and engage with the brand? Other applications that are really popular, WhatsApp, Skype. You're seeing even in Skype now, if you go, when you start a new conversation, they have a completely different menu for just adding bots. So all the big companies, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, they're thinking about these things and they're rolling them out. So finally, we talked about all the reasons why you should have one. What are some reasons why you shouldn't? Understanding the full spectrum is important. The same reason why if you came to BFM and you said, I want a mobile application, but I only have, $5,000, we tell you it's probably not a good idea, even if you could find someone to build it. Because if you don't do it right, it can hurt your brand. The number one reason why someone wouldn't want to use a chatbot is because they'd be afraid it didn't understand their question, and that can frustrate customers. So the same way you do A/B testing on your website to find sort of a conversion funnel fall off, you need to do this with your bot. You know, people are getting to this point in a conversation, the bot's not understanding them, and we need to add an additional answer to help the customer, continue on their journey to get to whatever our target goal is. So it requires, constant attention as well and ongoing work. One thing I thought was really nice about having a chatbot was that I noticed I was reading a lot about people were dealing with customer incidents privately. When people have to revert to going to Twitter to talk about a problem that they have with the business, it's much nicer to give them an outlet privately through either a chatbot so that you're not taking it publicly. Millennials don't want to call a business. Something like, I have it here, 61% of all people 24 and younger will not call a business if they have an issue. They'll move on, they'll go somewhere else. But they will pick up their phone and ask a question. Just making sure that it's sufficiently advanced and there's some machine learning will make sure that there's always a way for this chatbot to evolve and to hopefully bring in new business or repeated business from your customers, and sort of making use of the opportunity of this channel, which is that there is this Messenger app installed on everyone's phone. I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
Question about the handoff process between what you said, someone finds a product and they're having this chat with the bot, or maybe it's a customer service issue, and the bot sounds like it can only get so far at a certain point. It would hand off to a human representative.
Not in all cases.
Okay.
If you go online right now and you go to Facebook Messenger and you look up, for instance, the Expedia bot, you can fully book an entire vacation through the bot. You tell it things like, hey, I want to go to Hawaii for a week. It'll respond, when do you want to leave? You can say things like 2 weeks from today. This is natural language classification happening, and it'll take you through the entire process. Facebook Messenger is SSL secured. It'll ask you for your credit card information. You can plug it in, and you can book the whole thing right there through the chatbot.
But there's still going to be some things that it's not going to be able to take care of, right?
Absolutely.
So I guess my question is, if there still is going to have that sort of live person on the other side of things, if it can't be facilitated. So can you speak to sort of what transactionally how that process happens?
Yeah, absolutely. So just the same way you would have sort of a live chat application, like Live Person or Bold Chat through LogMeIn, and you would have customer service representatives working through that technology to interact with people, either on a chat program or the web. Your chatbot would take the initial request, and you'd have some sort of trigger, either the person repeating themselves, telling the bot that it doesn't understand them, saying things like, I need to speak to a real person. You can train through machine learning that those types of questions will put someone and move them up the queue and connect them to a real person. Yep. Any other questions?
I have a question. In brick and mortar stores, have you seen the use of bots embedded in LED panels for consumer?
In store, I haven't seen it. It is possible.
Because that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of deciding, what the purpose of why are you building this chatbot? If your reason is to just interact with customers in a fun and new way, and that's going to get them excited, and it's going to say, oh, let's go back to the store because I had such a great time, dealing with this chatbot, and it helped me pick out, this bag, then yeah, that's the purpose, and it could be useful. Just be aware of, once these things really start to ramp up, and they become more common, it's not going to be as novel. So the chatbot also needs to be good and have a purpose beyond just being novel in a store.
Well, I'm just seeing that the stores are going into huge LED panels as a way to create the experience. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe the MTA is using bots on displays in their subways, because you can punch the touch screen and then you can see the line that you
Oh,
need
yeah?
to go on. So
Yeah,
the
they're
MTA
popping up
is
everywhere.
pretty advanced on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. All right, we're going to move on. Thank you very much.